Now I'm gonna get straight to it. It's been a little while, so bear with me. Having a little bit difficulties trying to set the camera up. But anyway, it's all about the message. Um, Honestly, I just got a few things on my mind, and I just want to express them and hope that it reaches the ones that can relate. Um, so I have an understanding that the majority of the world, you know, seems to despise truth, you know, kindness, treating others the way that, you would like to be treated. These evil, there's so many labels and still come up to me personally the same thing. It may be a little bit different depending on rankings. I don't even like to too much speak on negative people, entities, but they have to be exposed. Um, I could get really deep and personally talk about my personal problems, but I'm not going to do that. Um, it costs nothing to be polite to someone. It costs nothing to smile. It costs nothing to help somebody out. But when you're dealing with these disagreeable beings, they got to profit from your struggle, and they rather tear you down than build you up. They rather hurt you than, try to keep you safe as a people as existing on this, this earth plane. Um, I have been going through so much and so many attacks, but I believe that nothing happens for a reason, for no reason. Everything's happened for a reason. And the stronger as the attacks get, the stronger as I get, the stronger as you get. Because we definitely reaching some of the final stages in this illusion that we call life, in this game, in this assignment. And some on triple and double assignments, etc. But I don't want to get too deep into that. All I know is while I'm here, I'm going to try my best to treat others the way I want to be treated. I'm going to not react or overreact when someone is being negative towards me. And that's same thing you should do if you're going through certain trials and tribulations. We could talk about racism, sexism, all this stuff. Of course it exists. But hate in general, jealousy in general, it's the biggest disease. People are jealous of even some of the smallest things that you may possess, and they can have almost everything in the world and they'll still be jealous of you. People really hate to see you just being positive, making changes, coming up in the world, especially when you come from the bottom. Although you are already destined from the top, you come from greatness, you come from royalty, especially if you always being watched and stalked. You're not an average person. You got to always understand that. You're not average. And I know that when we come into this, what they call reality, we lose a lot of our remembrance, our memory of who we are and what we came here to do. We all here to serve a mission, a purpose. Some is way bigger than others, I believe. And that's who they call the chosen and the called, etc. But not to even get so deep into that, to keep it quite simple. It's encouraging others and helping people, or just anybody, animals, etc. And I'm not speaking on being perfect. I'm not saying you can't do certain things, because obviously nobody's perfect. I'll be lying to sit here and say that I'm perfect. But it's a lot of knowledge that I'm not saying that I wouldn't put out, that I already have put out. But, a lot of the jealous ones, they don't support, or they'll look at the channel, etc. And I only speak, that is those monitoring spirits. those familiar spirits, but for those real ones. And like I said, I don't care if it's one or two. Of course, I want more supporters. Support. If you want to hear more videos, I understand that it is a lot of content creators too. But I had to understand that I'm not playing follow the leader. I'm just me. I can only be me. And I wear this mask. I don't have to keep explaining it. Just listen to the message. I'm here to try to at least uplift you. I haven't been supported in years in a lot of different ways, but I still try my best to get on here and say, hey, if you're going through a rough time, any situation, you can overcome it. And it is repetitive to a certain, aspect, but you need to hear these things over and over so you can remind it that you're not alone and there are good people in the world versus all these evil demonic entities. And you are protected. I know I'm protected. But, sometimes we got to go, and a lot of times we got to go through more than most to become the person that we were meant to be. That's almost like the Lion King with Simba, He was destined to be king. And Scar, was trying his best to stop that. And that's supposed to have been, his uncle, etc. But look what Simba became. He became a grown lion. He became a king. She, he, it don't matter, It ain't no gender when it comes down to this message. So be who you are. Walk in your truth. Walk in your path. And don't worry about the haters. And like the Almighty say, do the prophets no harm. Don't touch the anointed. I know I didn't say that in perfect order, but you get it. And again, I'm not here trying to be cocky. I'm always humble, but it's the time to be very confident by knowing that you're a powerful deity. So anytime they keep trying to come against you, you search inside yourself. You pray with your hands up or however you feel comfortable, because you're not alone. You have a spirit team. You have a lot of agreeable entities that you could see and some you can't see that's on your side. So let the hateful ones watch, no matter what organizations they come from, no matter what secret, whatever they come from. They will lose. They'll lose coming against someone like you, and that's a strong message. And again, I don't like to title this type of content because I speak about a lot of different things, if it makes sense. Keep being strong, focus on yourself. You really have to get away from a lot of people and stop doing, anticipating in in the worldly things. Because again, I'm not here preaching. I'm hoping I'm teaching, and I'm hoping I'm reaching just as much as I'm learning. And I'm out. It's triple ones to God. I own us 13. And I'm out.